Hey everybody, Razor here, and welcome back to another edition of Little Big Tutorials. And in today's tutorial, we're going to be discussing the Dynamic Thermometer. So, as some of you may or may not know, the Dynamic Thermometer is a new feature that was added into Little Big Planet 3, and it definitely saves a lot of space for when you're creating levels. And so, you know, it impacts the way that you actually go through levels, especially bigger levels, and it reduces a lot of lagging and, you know, stuff like that. So if we go over into our global stuff area of our puppet and onto our fourth page, onto the gameplay controls, if we scroll down here, we'll see an option for the dynamic thermometer. So if we switch this to yes, we'll see several things happening on screen here. We'll see that these two features over here become usable now, and over on the left side, we now see that the thermometer has turned yellow instead of the normal pink that we get. So now what exactly does this mean? Well, basically the way that the dynamic thermometer works is that it loads parts of your levels in actual sections rather than loading the entire level at once. So if you want, you know, a very long and very complex level, we can just have it so that it loads certain sections instead of, you know, having the entire level load in at once as soon as you start playing. And yeah, like I said, it can reduce a lot of the lag that may come in place with, you know, large levels. So let's go and talk about the two options that are available down here. We have the loading zone shape, and there's a couple features over here. We have the square, regular, tall, wide, and that's it. So basically what this means is that, like I said, it's going to be loading in certain sections of the map. So this map isn't too advanced yet, but you know, it'll work for this tutorial. So yeah, it's like I said, we can have an entire zone of your level loaded in the actual square, loaded in an actual square shape, or tall if you're working with a lot of verticality, or if you're working with you know, just more horizontal maps, you know, a lot of landscape and stuff like that. Also, we have a loading zone size over here, which is very small, medium, and large. So basically what this means, let me go and zoom out and show you. So by zooming over here, you'll start to see that, let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So if I go away from the actual land masses of the level, you'll see that, you know, parts of the level start loading in slowly. Ah, this is why. Because the actual areas of the map are all glued together. So let's go and make this an actual oak. There we go. Ah, there we go. So as I scroll over to the left side, you'll see that certain areas of the level start appearing. It's because it's loading in those different levels, or different sections of the map, individually. So again, let me do the same thing with, let me go and detach this entire section. And let's just go ahead and detach part of the house. Okay, so now let's try it. There we go. Now we can clearly see that, you know, parts of the map are now loading in individually, you know. See, the entire bridge area just popped in over here as we went over there. So that's pretty much all the dynamic thermometer does. But let's actually go and talk about the different tools that we get with the dynamic thermometer. So let me go ahead and place down a piece of cardboard right here. And the first thing in our tools bag, in the very first page, we'll see a section for a dynamic thermometer. and let's go and talk about loading linker. So basically, like you saw before, as the entire section over here was loading in, it's loading in actual chunks instead. You see, like the house over there on the right hand corner is not completely loaded in until I start slowly going in there. But if I were to actually connect every single piece here with a loading linker, all it's saying is that I want this entire section or this entire piece or object or prop or whatever it may be to load in immediately. It's all going to be part of said part of the map. Okay, so there you go. So you see that entire section is already loaded in. Next we have the preloader, and basically all this means is that instead of having say you're actually in a higher area. Oops, let's go and move this down over here. There we go. So say your player is already in an area of the map that's like this, and you want an entire section down here to load in. Well, if you put a preloader on this entire section right here, all it means is that as soon as you get into this area and it senses your actual player, like if we actually tweak it over here, we can have an actual detection range. So as soon as it senses your player in this area, it's going to go ahead and load this entire smaller section in as well. And again, here's where the zones come into place, where we actually place actual zone areas that we want for the level to load in. So that's pretty much all the preloader does. It just loads an entire section in before you actually get to it when you actually reach a certain spot. That way you don't have to worry with some of the lag that may come in with an area that is barely loading in if you're just barely getting into it. Next, let's go and talk about the Permanency Tweaker, and has the same concept here, but all this means is that the Permanency Tweaker will just allow you to have that certain area of the map always load in. So it won't matter, if you're all the way on, this side of the map, or if you're all the way on, whatever area of the map, it will always be loaded in already. So as you can see here, as I zoom out, you'll see that the areas that have completely, stopped loading in are already right there. So if I were to completely, well, let me go ahead and glue everything together here. That should be enough. Alright. Now if I put a Permanency Tweaker on there, it will always stay there in the level. See how that entire section will always be loaded in? So that's pretty much all the Permanency Tweaker is, really. It's very simple. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Dynamic Thermometer. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to answer them. If you have any suggestions on future tutorial videos or anything else you would like to see me do, leave a comment down below as well. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch